Hello! Welcome to this class on a 3-color ear warmer made using the FISS technique, which is Fair Isle Slip Stitch. My name is Joy Gennady, and I will be your teacher for this class. The pattern is available on my Ravelry page, and on the Knitters Day Out website there will be a link where you can download it as well as a coupon code to get it for free if you're taking this class. To get started, I will show you some that I have made up already. This is what it looks like. So it has 3 colors, all in what appears to be the same row. But the beauty of this technique is that you have these 3 colors going without having to actually use 3 colors at once, which can be difficult for a lot of people, including me. What you do is you use 1 color in one round, and then you use 2 colors in the next round. So you're never using more than 2 colors at a time, but yet it looks like it's 3 colors. It's really fun, it's easy to do, and I will show you how to do it. This technique was developed by a woman named Helen Robertson. She lives in the Shetland Isles, and she has her own patterns using this technique. Here's a couple of others that I have made up to show you some different color combinations. I'll show one, I'll put it on so you can see what it looks like. It's a pretty wide headband or ear warmer. It's wide enough to fully cover your ears and most of your head, and then it leaves the top of your head open in case you're a hot body and you need when you're exercising or out in the cold and you need to release some heat. Straighten out my hair a little bit. So a couple things to keep in mind before you get started. First of all, the pattern as it's written is 2 layers. So there's the outside layer and then there's the inside layer. What you do is you knit it up all in one piece, kind of like you would a cowl, and then you fold it in half and you seam it together. Now what that does is it makes it very stiff. It's not very stretchy. Like I'm putting force on it and it's barely moving. So if you want to make this to fit, you want to knit it as close to the size of your recipient's head as you can get it, because it's not going to stretch much. Now as an option, you can just do one of the sides and not the second side. So here you can see I've worked the first side, but then the back side I did not work. So I didn't work it and fold it over and seam it. Instead it's just the raw edges showing on the back side. This one is stretchier. It does stretch maybe an inch or so. It doesn't have as much stretch as a normal headband might, or even a normal stranded headband, because of the combination of the stranding and the slip stitches. It just makes it not too flexible. You will need 3 colors of yarn. I recommend a light, a dark, and a medium, but you can use 2 darks and a light or 2 lights and a dark, because for this pattern, in this example, the black separates the white from the red. And you can see it here also. In this one, the white separates the blue from the red. And then in this one, the blue separates the white from the pink. So really, you could use pretty much any color combination as long as one of them is enough of a contrast to separate your 2 colors. So for today's class, I've chosen green, orange, and white. So you'll need to pick out 3 colors of yarn. You'll need 50 grams of each color. I have whole skeins here, but I'm not going to need that much. To start, the cast on round and the first row is done on a small needle. So I have done that here on a size 8. So I am using Aran weight yarn at approximately 4 stitches to the inch on a size 8 needle. And that's what I need to get started. Now, because this is very stiff and the pattern draws in a lot, we're going to go up 2, and you may even need to go up 3 needle sizes for the rest of the ear warmer. But we will start with 4 stitches to the inch on the smaller needle, and then use a needle size, 2 needle sizes larger for the rest of the ear warmer. Okay, so we have our yarn, we have our needles, and we have our pattern. Let's get started. To start our adventure into Fair Isle slip stitch, I will show you how to use this chart, which is the key. To begin, there are 3 colors, A, B, and C, and they're designated by these symbols in the chart. I went ahead and labeled mine with the colors that I'm using, green, orange, and white. You can use the chart as it is with the symbols, or if you prefer, you can go through and with a colored pencil and color in your chart with your colors, and perhaps that will make it easier for you to read the chart. That's up to you, knitter's choice. When you get started down here, you will notice that each row of the chart is actually 2 rows of knitting. So the first row of the chart is rows 1 and 2 of knitting. The second row of the chart is rows 3 and 4 of knitting, and etc. up the chart. This column here that says color at the top is the column that tells you which color or colors you will be using in any given row. So in the first row, we're going to be using this color, which is color C, and only C. So the first stitch is knit 1C. The next 2 stitches are color A, but we're not using that in this row, so we're going to slip those. In this pattern, all stitches will be slipped purlwise with yarn in back. Then stitches 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 will be knit with color C, and the last 2 stitches will be slipped. Then for the second round, you'll repeat it one more time, identical to the first. Once you're done that, you move up the chart to rounds 3 and 4. In this round, we'll be using 2 colors, color B and color A. So in this round, we start with 3 color A's. We knit 3 color A's. Then we come to a color C, which we are not using in this round, so we're going to slip it. Then we knit 3 color B's. We have another color C, which we're not using, so we will slip that, and then knit 2 color A. Then back to the beginning, and we work round 4, identical to round 3, knit 3A, slip 1C, knit 3B, slip 1C, knit 2A. And you repeat as set all the way up the chart. Now that we know how to read the chart and use the chart, let's get started with our knitting. Alright, now we're knitting. The directions have you start with your smaller needle, in this case the size 8, cast on 70, 80, 90, or 100 stitches for your size. I'm using the smallest size, using 70 stitches. So you cast on your 70 stitches and then you work 1 round. Now, I am going to, in the second round, I'm going to change my needle size and add in my second color. So this will now be round 1 of the chart. and my second color is going to be color C, which in my case I've decided is going to be white. So here's my larger needle. I'm using a size 10. And here is my white yarn. Alright, so according to the chart, I'm going to knit the first stitch with color C, with white. Now I'm going to slip the next 2 stitches. And then I'm going to knit 5 with white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to slip 2. So that's my chart. Knit 1 white, slip 2 green, knit 5 white, slip 2 green. Now I'll go back to stitch 1 and repeat the chart 7 times. I have 70 stitches, it's 10 stitches in the chart, so I will repeat the chart 7 times around. So beginning back at stitch 1, knit 1 white, slip 2 green, knit 5 white, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slip 2 green. It's kind of noisy with these metal needles hanging all over the place. Sorry about that. Okay, so now I've done the chart twice. I need to do it 5 more times to get around the first round. Okay, here I have finished my first round. Now I'm going to start the second one. I'm all on the size 10 needle now. I've gotten rid of my size 8 needle. I'm going to put a stitch marker at my end of the round, and we're going to start all over again. We'll be following the chart because we're doing the first row of the chart, we're doing a second time for round 2. However, what makes this easy is that the second row is exactly the same as the first row. So all I have to do is read my knitting. So I knit 1 white, slip 2 green, knit 5 white, slip 2 green, knit 1 white, and go on as before, just knitting it exactly as it is on the needle. So be slip 2 green, knit 5 white, slip 2 green. So the second round of any one chart row is very simple because you're just doing exactly what was already on the needles. So I will go ahead and knit the second round, and then we'll go to round 3 where we will join in our third color. Okay, I've finished my second round. It's a little tight here, but you can see. So I have my cast on and my round 1 of green, and then I have 2 rounds of the first row of the chart. Now I'm going to start round 3 using colors A and B, which in my case are green and orange. I already have the green going here, so I'm going to add in the orange, and it starts 3 green. Also, as you can see, I've added in a sticky note here to help me keep my place in the chart. Okay, so I'm going to start with 3 green. Then I have a white, but I'm not using white in this round, so I'm going to slip that stitch. Slip it purlwise with the yarn in the back. Now I have 3 orange, so I will add in my orange. Another white stitch, which I will slip purlwise with the yarn in back. and then 2 green. So there's my first chart row, the first 10 stitches. Now I'll repeat it, knitting 3 green, 1, 2, 3, slip 1 white, knit 3 orange, 1, 2, 3, slip 1 white, knit 2 green. So there, I've done the repeat twice. I have 70 stitches, so I need to do it 5 more times to get around the row. And as you can see on this round, I'm using 2 colors, the green and the orange. Only 2 colors. And the previous row, I was using only the white. So I never use more than 2 colors in any given row, and it's a 3-color pattern. All right, I'm going to finish this round and we'll start the second. Okay, I finished my round 3 of the chart, which is the first round of adding in the 3rd color, the orange. Round 4 of the chart is exactly like round 3. So for this round, I don't even need the chart. I can just read my knitting. And I'll knit 3 green, 1 white, 3 orange, 1 white, and then it'll be 5 green, 1 white, as it shows in my knitting. So 3 green, 1 white, which we're not knitting because we're slipping it. 3 orange, if I can find my orange. 1, 2, 3, 1 white, 5 green. Now at this point, somebody will be asking, what are you doing with the floats? Because I'm knitting 5 green and then I have 1 white, so that's, well, and then I'll have another white here before I start the orange. So from the last orange to the next orange, it's 2, 4, 6, 7 stitches, which in traditional Fair Isle knitting would be a very long float. For the purposes of this pattern, I'm not doing anything with the float, because the pattern as written you do twice and fold it over and seam it. So the back side never shows, and it will never have those floats open to get stuck on anything. If you choose to do only one and you have the back side open, you can do something with the floats if you desire. In this case, I did not. This is 100% wool and it sticks to itself pretty well. It's also a headband, so it's not like you're going to be sticking your fingers through it unless you do it on purpose. The floats are quite long though, so if you were going to use this singly like this, you might want to do something with the floats. And in that case, you would do what you would normally do with floats, working stranded knitting. So in this case, if I were going to catch the float, I'd probably go back about midway through the green. So it's a patch of 5 green. So on the third, knit 2 on the third one, then I would catch my float and continue on. So for the purposes of this class, working with the floats is knitter's choice. Well, in fact, at any time it's knitter's choice. You do what you feel is best for you and for your knitting. Whatever you want to do with the floats is fine. You can leave them or you can trap them. Okay, I have finished row 4 of the chart. So I have 2 whites and 2 oranges. 1 and 2 are the whites and 3 and 4 are the orange. Now I'm on row 5. And I'm only going to be using one color in this row. I'm going to go back to the white all by itself. Okay, so I have the green and the orange that I just finished working, just finished using. So I'm going to bring them over to the left, and I'm going to bring the white up from underneath, and then I'm going to start using the white. Now the first stitch here is a green, so I'm going to slip that one. And then I have 3 white. One orange, which I will slip. 1 white. Another orange, which I will slip. And 3 more white. So that's how I go back to using the single color. So I'll slip 1 green, knit 3 white, slip 1 orange, knit 1 white, slip 1 orange, knit 3 white. So now our pattern is pretty well set, and I'm going to continue that all the way up the chart. Okay, here I have finished the chart. Rows 1 through 26. All the way around. And then after I finished the chart, I switched to the smaller needle, worked 1 row of green knit, 1 row purl, and then 1 row knit. Now I'm going to switch back to my larger needle and work the chart one more time. Okay, here we are. I've finished both repeats of the chart. Here you can see from the bottom, the first repeat, knit, purl, knit. The second repeat, I knit 1 row and then bound off at the top. Now I left myself a very long tail so that I can sew the top and the bottom together. I wove in my ends already, and this is what it looks like on the inside. I did end up deciding to catch most of my floats. So you can see this one compared to this one, the floats are much shorter. In the first one, these are much longer floats where I did not catch them. And then these floats are much shorter where I did catch them. Like I said, knitter's choice. And here's what it looks like at the join at the end of the round. So next step would be to sew the top to the bottom. Okay, so I folded this in half. And I am seaming the top to the bottom. In this case, I'm just using a simple whip stitch. So I go in on one side, come out the other, and pull it around, and repeat. Go in on one side, come out the other, pull it through, and repeat. And that's what it looks like. Now if you want to do some other kind of join, you can do that too. Any kind of seaming method would work. Also, if you want to do a provisional cast on, that gives you some more options as well. On this one, this is the turning purl ridge in the middle, and then at the top and the bottom I joined this with a 3 needle bind off, so you can see what that looks like. And on this one, I did a provisional cast on. This is the purl ridge turning row in the middle. And then on the other end, I grafted the top and the bottom together using a purl graft instead of a knit graft to try to match the top to the bottom. So how you put yours together is knitter's choice, and a simple whip stitch serves fine. So our headband is finished. Here's the 3-color ear warmer. I soaked it in lukewarm water and put it on a balloon to block it. And this used the FISS method, the Fair Isle slip stitch technique, using combination of Fair Isle stranding with slip stitch mosaic to give you the 3 colors, worked with no more than 1 or 2, no more than 2 colors in any given round. I hope this has been helpful for you and fun to learn a new technique. Thank you for joining me today. Bye-bye.